Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Okay, I've been at the bottom, let it down from the top, I can't let them feel it. I got hit on my plug, we got so much to do, I gotta reload, let me call you tomorrow. I got tests when I'm finished, but I keep it moving. If I step in the process, you gon' run out my time, I need it, it's crucial. It's lapping the top of the mountains, where eagles will run, how they find me is higher than ever. You cannot fly, so run me, get down, make it minute of pressure, I've been on the way. I got no time to look back, and my family gon' need some more cheddar, so let's get it poppin'. Told me to put up a setup, you should not put up vendetta, you gon' let it couch it, fine. Bumpin', I'm crossing the line, we ready to sign, yeah, ooh. Can't get out of my way, they shouldn't know what I'm vagina, yeah, ooh. Don't want me showing my teeth, might have some blood on my tooth, yeah, ooh. I kinda settle the beef, so Lord, forget what I do. I'm at the top, yeah, been at the top of the mountain, I'm higher than ever, yeah. Might at the satellite calling for all my endeavors, yeah. I ain't gon' slut on you tweaking, you know I don't let her, yeah. So Lord, forget what I do, cause it's now or it's never, yeah. Been at the top of the mountain, I'm higher than ever, yeah. Might at the satellite calling for all my endeavors, yeah. I ain't gon' slut on you tweaking, you know I don't let her, yeah. So Lord, forget what I do, cause it's now or it's never, yeah. Lord, forget what I do, cause it's now or it's never, yeah.
From the fountain of your face, nothing but dark.
Forget what I do, cause it's now or it's never, yeah. Forget what I do, cause it's now or it's never, yeah. I'm loyal to the till I die, I don't switch sides. Tryna make some moves, but I can't until it's time. I've been taking chances, I ain't letting nothing slide. It's you listen, I didn't get as fast.
Hello everyone and welcome to the tip-off of yet another edition of Tier 3 tonight, where we will be bringing you all-encompassing coverage of the LCS Challengers League qualifiers in 90 minutes. My name is Hawk, and joining me is my incredible co-host Grapes. Hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of a throwback video. Real ones remember the 2012 League of Legends Classic, but Grapes, how are we doing this evening?
Doing good. I got all amped up from all those dunking that we saw in that intro video.
Yes,
doing
sir.
well. Ready for another episode of Tier 3 tonight, as we're back for more games to recap, more teams to analyze, and of course more players to talk to. So make sure you stick around so you don't miss a thing.
Absolutely won't want to miss anything. But, of course, with the first qualifier halfway done, we thought it would be a good time to remind everyone of exactly how teams from the qualifiers can earn their ticket towards the NACL promotion tournament in April. Teams earn points for matches that they win in the qualifier Swiss stage, group stage, and elimination stage for both spring tournaments. Each win in the Swiss stage earns you 5 points, and each win in the group and knockout stage earns you 20. So, some of these most recent matches, feeling pretty important.
Yeah, on top of that, every team that finishes first in their GSL group will earn an additional 10 qualification points to reward teams that made it to the quarterfinals without dropping a series. At the end of both qualifier tournaments, the winner of the second qualifier plus the next 3 teams with the highest point totals will have a chance to compete for the NACL this summer. So, what do we have to look out for in terms of points here tonight? Well, let's take a look at the following. The matches between the teams in the lower bracket, as we'll see here, they'll earn the winners 20 points, while the losers of those losers bracket matchups will be knocked out until qualifier 2. We could pull up our upcoming schedule and the overview of those groups to make sure that we see which teams are in the upper bracket and which teams are in the lower bracket. So right now, those teams towards the bottom, if you lose, you're out. If you win, you get 20 points. The upper bracket matchups, those wins will earn each team 30 points. That's 20 for each series win and 10 for finishing first.
And as we've learned in years past, every point matters. The stakes of these matches are higher than ever. Sometimes the difference between a Swiss match or whether or not you finish first and second in your group can be a big deal when the chips are down. Because remember, only 4 teams get to make the LCS Challengers promotion tournament. So you don't want to fall short, and it can definitely be devastating. But Grapes, there are a ton of exciting matchups, so maybe we don't want to waste any time, and let's jump straight into looking over Group A. As you can see here, BlackRock and Team Fish Taco are meeting in the upper bracket, the 5-0 team from the Swiss stage against the number 2 seed from our selection committee. In the lower bracket, we will be saying goodbye to our first team, as the loser between CCG and Clown Gaming will be going home.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it with our upper bracket matchup. This is an exciting one between BlackRock and Team Fish Taco. BlackRock were yet to drop a single game in this tournament, but we're up against a pretty good opponent. We start off right here with Kitso on his signature Lee Sin. Somehow does not die. A nice flash and a kick away, which allows for Robbie Bob to pick up the kill.
Yeah, but the real focus of the game was in the bottom lane. Pockets on the support Nico, and BlackRock, they're just going hard, cleaning up kills. Kitsuo, another double kill to his name. Things maybe get a little crazy here, Grapes, but at the end of the day, it's BlackRock. I mean, you can see the gold at the top, picking up a pretty huge advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Levitating Snow did so well in their last week's matchup against CCG, but definitely struggled here in this one against BlackRock. Here's another look at this kick from Kitsuo. Finds the insect onto Levitate, and BlackRock, you can see 13-4, soon to make it 14. They ran away with this game 1.
Yeah, now in the base as well. Kitsuo goes for another kick, finds Sudsy, doesn't kill him initially, ends up dying in the end. And, I mean, from this point on, look at that Pop Blossom. Pockets is support Nico. Huge series in general from the support of Team Fish Taco. That's going to be a theme in our next games, as well as BlackRock domination in Game 1.
Yeah, and Game 2, as we head into that one, look pretty similar in terms of performance, specifically towards that bottom lane. Look at Pockets, that flash handshake onto Snow. Did not stand a chance as BlackRock picked up first blood.
Yeah, nice punish on the mispositioning, and now they're trying to punish the Renata, but the hostile takeover goes across everybody. BlackRock, they're here, they've arrived, the cavalry, and again, like you said, it's going to be a similar story to game number 1, and in fact, even more one-sided, disguised as a minion this time. Sudsy's going to try to bring it back, but it's just not enough. They're down so much, Grapes.
Well, they're going to have to try. They picked up that kill onto Kitsuo with no jungler. They head towards Baron. Let's see if BlackRock can do anything about it. And whoa! There goes Robbie Bob with a masterful shuffle to pick up 3 kills. They'll get a 4th with Hoarder here, and that was all that she wrote here for this series. BlackRock picking up an big win over Taco, who many had favored to go very far in this qualifier tournament.
Yeah, and BlackRock, a team that we weren't really sure what to think about them coming in. They were seeded 5th or 6th even, and they went 5-0 after the Swiss stage, right? And we weren't sure how good they actually were, and it feels like Team Fish Taco, the first really, really solid team that they've played in a best-of series so far. And Grapes, I mean, this is scary if they're able to beat a team of this caliber this badly.
Yeah, you know, they had that one win against Clown, but it was with like a sub-roster, and it was a lower seed. So this was the biggest statement that we've seen from them in a best-of series. And for Team Fish Taco, things looked a little bit rough. We hope that they are able to figure things out as they head into the lower bracket. But with that, we can head into our next matchup, our first elimination series between CCG and Clown Gaming. Unfortunately for CCG, Bacon was unable to make it for game 1, so Trevor's playing jungle. Their coach, Argentum, is playing support, but it doesn't look like it's mattering, at least early on, with that double kill.
Yeah, no, not at all. This time around, you know, already ahead, CCG, they're going to take a nice team fight. They're going to clean up some kills as the package through everybody is just beautiful. And look, regardless of who's in the roster, this is probably what we would have expected. CCG, they've got a really strong team, but they start up the Baron. They're trying to extend their lead, and uh-oh, hold the phone. What's going on?
Oh, no. It's a bit of a role swap diff there, as Trevor, not super familiar with smiting. Damons is able to pick that one up. Damons had a great game on the Lilia. You're going to see that alongside Yao Yao here on the
Look at
Jax.
that flank.
A beautiful engage combined with the hostile takeover.
Yeah, that hostile takeover across everybody. Nostalgia just cleaning them up. And all of a sudden, from being behind to getting the Baron to being even and now ahead in this game. And you talked about Damons. Flash, Q, Lilting Lullaby on 3. Callista ult, not enough to save this fight. And Clown Gaming picking up their first win of the group stage against CCG, starting things off hot. And all of a sudden, CCG, a team that we thought might be a contender for those quarterfinals, for those semifinals, Grapes, they are on the ropes.
Yeah, it was a crazy back and forth game. As you said, 11-0 and 12 here for Damons in game 1, but CCG did have their full roster for the remainder of this series. Vaken was back in game 2, which meant that Trevor got to head back into the bottom lane, and that meant good things for him on the Bard. You see a dive down here. Watch this Q, finding both members of the Clown Gaming bottom lane and getting red and easy double kill.
Yeah, that was just so nice from Trevor. Another one. Look at that. Double stun into the True Shot Barrage. Red, Arcane Shift forward. Gonna pick up yet another double. I mean, it was honestly just a bit of a bot diff this time around. Turns out having your starting support in the game matters a lot. Look, Grapes, things got a little weird in this fight. Everyone's just gonna kind of die. But at the end of the day, you can see the gold at the top. CCG so far ahead.
Yeah, Flocon on his signature, Vladimir was able to set up that triple kill for Crimson you just saw right there. And CCG, you see the timer, you see the gold, it's a little bit quicker. They're able to wrap this one up fast and take ourselves to a decider.
Yeah, and in that decider, Grapes, it's the underdog against the team that has high hopes. And there was one player in particular that had high hopes. It's Flocon. So much attention thrown his way this game from CCG. If I had the time, this highlight reel would have been a compilation of CCG attempting to gank mid. Here's a good example. Getting ganked, staying alive for so long. Now going into the Shroud, able to flash away. This is already after he traded 1-for-1 earlier on in the game. And this one is just an Akali montage.
I feel like this whole game was kind of an Akali montage. Flocon finds the Shuriken, picks up the kill, and then jumps right back onto Titan to finish that one off. We fast forward a little bit. He's able to get another one here onto Yao Yao and help secure the ace here for CCG. It got very bloody in this decider, but it seemed like our higher seed kind of was in control the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like no matter how bloody it got, CCG, they just understood how to play the map. They were able to generally secure safe plays and leads no matter how many kills were going over. I mean, this time around on the Rakan, Trevor's finding a nice engage, and in the end, CCG, they do manage to survive the upstarts in Clown Gaming. They are moving on with a date now against Team Fish Taco, but Grapes, it was maybe not as clean as we were expecting.
Yeah, I think you can attribute at least part of it to the fact that they did not have their full roster for Game 1, but overall, I think in Game 2 and 3 specifically, CCG looked very good, and I am going to take the perspective of those are the two games that we have to look at in terms of how strong we think this team is. Clown, shout out to them for taking a game, even though it was against that sub-team, but we'll see how strong CCG look as now they're kind of matched up against Team Fish Taco for a rematch next week.
Yeah, we could take a look at those Group A results. Again, the matchup, Team Fish Taco CCG, it already happened earlier in the tournament. It was a 3-game series as well. Now, despite being a 3-game series, Grapes, I think we would both agree that Team Fish Taco generally had a handle on that last time, but they just got beat down by BlackRock. And honestly, I don't know if it's that CCG and Taco both look shaky so far, or BlackRock is just that damn good because they rolled through this group.
Yeah, momentum is definitely on BlackRock's side. They have yet to drop a single map, but in that lower bracket decider matchup between Taco and CCG, I would argue momentum in favor of CCG, even though they were the losers of that first round game. After getting destroyed by BlackRock, Taco gonna have to find some motivation and some encouraging thoughts to get themselves back into this one, because one loss here, and it's very hard to come back and make your way into the promotion tournament.
Yeah, just a reminder again as well, BlackRock, speaking of that promotion tournament, they're at the very top of the points leaderboard. They've got 75 promotion points already. 5 wins from Swiss stage, putting them at the top ahead of any other team. And of course, that first place group finish helping them out a lot. And now moving on to those quarterfinals. I mean, Grapes, it's hard to say they're anything but a favorite. But speaking of, after that incredibly strong 2-0 win over Team Fish Taco, large in part to their famed mid-jungle, Kitsuo and Robbie Bob, have you ever wondered to yourself, Grapes, which one of them is better? Well, Grapes, I know you got to answer that question as you sat down with them to find out.
I'm here with the mid-jungle duo from BlackRock Esports, Kitsuo and Robbie Bob, who have gone undefeated in the spring season. Kitsuo, Robbie, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty well.
You guys have been teammates for quite some time on many different teams, and so what we're going to do today is figure out which of you is the better teammate and maybe even the better friend. I had each of you fill out a couple of questions, and you are going to take turns asking each other those respective questions to see if your teammate knows the answer. Whoever gets the most questions right at the end is the winner.
I think Robbie knows me better just because I think I'm more expressive, and whenever we hang out, I feel like I'm always constantly telling him like, I hate this, I love this,
I forget a lot of things, so it might be Mr. Dad might know me more.
What is my favorite champ for you to play?
If you want to win, it's like, oh, pick me Victor, but it's not like, that's not really helping jungle too much. That's just helping the game, I'm gonna guess the blue man himself, Mr. Riz, or what?
Right?
That's what I call
yeah,
him.
that's a good guess, but it's actually Azir.
Oh man.
There's less attention I have to give to mid, and if I do give attention, at least I know that you can ult the enemy mid to me. I also have the insurance that Robbie will carry on Azir.
Let's start off pretty simple. What season did I start playing League?
I want to say season 5. It's 5 or 6. I'll say 5. I'll say 5.
It is 20. Oh gosh.
Damn it, season 4? 2014 is season 4. Yeah, 2014 is season 4.
Oh man. Well, neither of you got that first question, but I feel like y'all were close, so I'm feeling confident.
All right, Robbie. What is my favorite memory of us playing together?
There's one moment when we first met each other. This is my favorite memory, not just playing. It was like we ride at UST and he doesn't have soap, but I've got a soap bar. We're trying to cut up the soap. We put it in the microwave, and then I use my mouse pad, which is like a metal mouse pad, and I start slicing it up with the mouse pad.
That's the most gamer thing I've ever heard. In my life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna go with the safe answer. When we won CLO.
That is a pretty good answer, but that would not be the answer that I wrote down. My favorite memory of us playing together is when we picked Rengar Ivern in NACL 2022 summer against CLG Faith in top 16, and then we never were allowed to have it for the rest of the OQ.
That is a fun memory. I mean, that's more fun for you.
That's more fun for me. That's why I remember. But,
other than you, Mr. Dad, who is my favorite teammate of all time?
dude, this is so hard. My two answers that I would have to pick between are Trevor and Matt. But if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably say Trevor. It has to be Trevor, right?
I wrote.
Wait, no. Yeah, I was gonna say Masu. I was gonna switch it, but it's too late now.
Masu and Porsche. I've had the joy of working with a lot of different people, but Masu's always, I love working with him. He was great. Was good. No ego. And then Porsche, every time I play with him, like, he's grown a lot, you know, he's great.
We're gonna do the real 3 points area. What is my favorite game that isn't League?
Oh, well, so he plays this game when we were rooming together. I'd wake up, he's just got his laptop open, even though he's got a computer, it's just running a game. He's like, you gotta play it. I'm like, no, because it's a gacha game. You gotta roll for characters. And it's called Epic 7. Just like, and it's gotta be that. No.
I mean, Robbie, you got it. You got it right here.
He spends more time playing that game than he does playing League.
All right, well, Robbie, that's your first point. Congratulations.
Fantastic. If I had to role swap to another role,
Jungle.
where would I go?
Jungle. That's easy. That's the easiest one. That's the easiest one.
It's jungle.
That's just the easiest answer I could have given.
I've never been so mad at the game. In jungle, I had to think, and I gotta hope my team does something. And then your team just starts flaming you. It's like, what can I do?
Now you understand like why every jungler is so angry all the time.
We only got one question left, so if you guys mess this up and the other person gets it, they win. So,
yeah,
a lot of pressure.
All right, Robbie, this is it. What is my go-to match day routine?
He knows it already.
Big bottle of Coke. Obviously, no food. An old routine. He does this. He starts shaking his hands. This is before we even load into the game. And then he gets into a practice tool. I think he starts practicing Lee Sin kicks. Then that's just a full routine right there.
I think he gets the point.
Yeah, no, he gets it. He gets
it. Wake up, go to McDonald's, get a Coke. It's pretty close. I think he gets the point for that.
Yeah.
Who is a mid laner that I try to model my game after?
Kobe.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that is my final answer.
It's Joby.
That was an easy one.
I love watching Chovy. Like, I think he does really well just getting himself like really fed. Yeah. Chovy is too good, so there's no way I can like reach his level of gameplay, but that's what I try and model myself after.
I think the only reason I got that is because I just hear him always talk about it, like, this is what Chovy does.
That's what
I'm gonna do.
Looks like at the end of the day, you guys are just really good teammates to each other. So nobody's better than the other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Thank you so much, Kitso and Robbie Bob, and let's get on with the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Kitso and Robbie Bob for sitting down with us. It made sense that they ended up tying at the end, but it was fun to learn a little bit more about our two favorite players on BlackRock. Or two of our favorite players on BlackRock.
Yeah, I was about to say, wow. Didn't you just interview Inori like a week ago? I think he's going to be very upset watching the show, Grapes, to hear you say that. No, but shout out to Robbie and Kitsuo. It's always great having longtime teammates have an opportunity to do some content together.
Yeah. Congratulations to them. We'll see more of them on Sunday as BlackRock plays in the quarterfinals. But for now, let's continue on with our run of highlights, starting again with Group B. This is another heavy-hitting group, a lot of very strong teams. That upper bracket specifically, Aporia versus Winthrop, I had my eyes on coming in, and Gentle Hearts versus Abandoned Kittens had some interesting players who had some interesting moments, but are still looking for their first win of the group stage.
Yeah, I mean, our pre-seeded number 1 and number 3 teams from the Open Qualifiers both wound up in this group due to varying levels of success in the Open Qualifier. So Aporia and Winthrop playing in this round, I mean, that's the kind of matchup that can really be a big deal. And as you say, Gentle Hearts, Abandoned Kittens, both teams with high hopes. Abandoned Kittens in particular already reaching higher than they've already been. And we can start it off with our upper bracket matchup between Aporia and Winthrop University, where Grapes, just right off the bat, this series had some bangers, and it's aggressive in the bot lane.
Yeah, see Rovex on the Senna alongside Lynx's Jinx, picking up 1 kill, going very far, but is able to get himself a double. Unfortunately, Wokow's Nocturne is able to answer right back with 2 kills of his own, and that is kind of how this game went overall. Back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, the kill score, very, very even yet again. Skirmish around the grubs, but the biggest beneficiary of this one, Grapes, is going to be Denethor's Gwen. No matter how many of his teammates die around him, he is still snipping his way through. He picks up 2 kills and a couple of assists. Now he's 3-0-3 for this fight, and just keep your eyes on how much he can do.
Yeah, Aporia able to answer right back here, though. A nice package from Samikin right down the middle, and a nice deadly flourish from Lynx right here, and Lawrence able to clean things up again. Winthrop fall behind here by losing that fight. We're going to jump right around to the Elder Dragon, where Winthrop were able to get it, but Aporia actually clean up the fight. It's a 2v5 right now, and this is where you have to keep your eyes on Denethor's Gwen.
Yeah, again, keep your eyes on how much this guy can do, because 1, he's like 1 shot from death. Playing Gwen is immune. 2, that's another kill right there. Dodges 2 rockets from Samikin, picks up a triple. That was a nice play, and even though he dies with the Dragon Soul in hand, with a few super buffs, Winthrop, they are finally able to push their way into the base. Look at that Gwen scoreline, 12, 3, and 10 for Denethor.
144 minutes, but we finally had Winthrop picking up that victory. We come right into game 2, and Samikin on the Azir with a nice shuffle, but Winthrop play front to back just a little bit better. Chookie's on the Ashe going super aggressive with a flash forward, and they are able to pick up a big fight around the Drake.
Yep, it's another game back and forth yet again. Winthrop just a little bit ahead, but nice true shot rush from Mobility, now shifting in. Flash kills Lynx. That's a shutdown, and look who's fed now. 8-3-4 Mobility. He is the guy this game.
Yeah, look at that beautiful movement right there. Able to basically one-shot music. He's already legendary here, and he barely misses a single Mystic shot in this entire sequence, which I thought was super impressive. He dashes forward to pick up another one. That's an ace for Winthrop, and they're already at the enemy nexus.
Oh, 24-minute end.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was maybe a little bit more League of Legends to be played. Lynx with a really nice shutdown onto Mobility. They're able to clean up the fight, and all of a sudden, Aporia have a little bit of momentum back in their favor. We head our way towards the Chemtech Drake. Winthrop are able to secure it, but watch this fight as well on the other side. Samikin with a big shuffle. There's the binding from Rovex as well, but Mobility gets one, and he's going to get some more.
Yeah, Mobility, no matter what happens, no matter how many oopsies in the base, I mean, just deletes Rovex right there. And this time around, Winthrop, they're going to try to find the fights to end the game. They pick up the Baron for themselves, now running forward again. I'm pretty sure Arcane Shift is supposed to be a defensive spell, except for apparently when Mobility is using it, constantly shifting forward. 36 minutes into the game, they do finally get it done. Winthrop University, in what was a tumultuous 2-game series, does still get it done in a sweep.
Yeah, one of the closer 2-game series that you can have. Each of those games went higher and longer than 34 minutes, and I think that's a good sign for Aporia. We saw some good things out of Samikin in those games. I think Lynx had a tremendous series despite the 0-2. But Winthrop, even though they went 3-2 in Swiss, they're right back on the right foot, and they are the first seed out of Group B.
Yeah, and this is the Winthrop we were expecting. Again, even though it wasn't the cleanest of series against one of the probably best other teams in the tournament, for Winthrop to take that 2-0, this is what we were expecting when they were seeded first overall, and I would imagine that greatness will continue. But Grapes, now it is unfortunately time to bid farewell to one of our other teams as we have our matchup between the Gentle Hearts and Abandoned Kittens. We can start it off with some spice. Gentle Hearts wanted to ruin the Abandoned Kittens days at the very start.
They got Crocodon on the Belveth, and that normally means your level 1 is pretty good. Another person who played really well in this game is Rox908 on the Rel. Gets a 2v2 kill here, and then with a little bit of help from Crocodon, another really good answer was finding engages all over this bottom lane.
Yeah, Rox had a really great series across the board, but Abandoned Kittens, though, they were not going to be daunted. They were not going to go quietly whatsoever. A nice Cataclysm in mid from Low Jazz. They're able to pick up a couple kills. They're able to then threaten towards the Baron. However, Gentle Hearts, they're all back up.
Yeah, look at that engage from Rox, and an instant triple kill from Crocodon as well. He's now incredibly fed, but this game dragged on for a little bit. You see here, we're 39 minutes into the game, and this is finally where Gentle Hearts find their engage. A nice Pop Blossom from Ariandel, and Barrack TPing into the base before the fight's over to end the game.
Yeah, and Gentle Hearts, they do eventually get it done, but again, not maybe as clean as we expected. Gentle Hearts, they've been a little up and down in their performance. But remember what we said about Rox having a great game last time? Well, yet again, look at this Nautilus. The engages are sick. The equalizer is just a barbecue, and it's Gentle Hearts getting off to a big-time lead as he just bends it like Beckham around terrain.
Yeah, Rox finding all the dredge lines here in this game too. Ariandel on the Ahri as well, very much impressive in his own right. The Gentle Hearts, see the scoreline, they kind of ran away with this one just a little bit more. Every single time, Abandoned Kittens tried to do something, there was engage on top of engage, and Gentle Hearts were there to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Ariandel, Rox, say their names one more time because it really did feel like a mid support to the 10 as they were just going crazy. Spirit Rush in. They're going to clean up the kills. 26.5 minutes, Abandoned Kittens. Similar to Clown Gaming, unfortunately, they do fall here, but what a great tournament from them against many of the odds that they were given. And two teams, Grapes, that I think we are excited to see back at our next tournament.
Yeah, I'm a little sad about this Abandoned Kittens team. They unfortunately were unable to get a win in the group stage despite looking very solid in Swiss. But I know that these players have all been together for a while. Hawk, you know that they are all pretty good friends from the time that you got to talk to some of those players. And I have a good feeling they're going to be back in some capacity for OQ too.
Oh, yeah. The vibes for this Abandoned Kittens team were very good, and I'm excited to see them back. But for Gentle Hearts as well, look, Graves, Game 2, super clean, and that's the kind of thing we wanted to see from this roster at the beginning of the tournament. I feel like it wasn't until that game that we've really seen them hit the peak that we know that they can, and now they have a big-time matchup as we can pull up our standings against Aporia next week. Again, Aporia, one of the pre-tournament favorites to make semifinals, finals, push towards promotion. Gentle Hearts, they have their work cut out for them, but if they're able to play like they did in that second game, maybe they could just pull off an upset.
Yeah, unlike Group A, it's a matchup that we haven't seen in the group stage before, so I think Gentle Hearts have the players that could potentially threaten Aporia, but let's talk a little bit more about Winthrop, because with the Eagles soaring to the top of Group B, their top laner Denethor has been an impressive name up on that side of the map. Hawk, you got a chance to sit down with Winthrop solo laner to ask him about who he thinks are some of the strongest champions in his role.
Welcome, everyone. I am joined by the top laner of Winthrop University, Denethor, freshly off of a berth to the quarterfinals after defeating Aporia this last weekend. Denethor, how you doing today?
Good. That match was a very fun one against Aporia.
You're a top laner. The most mechanically intensive, matchup important lane, and I want to hear about the champions that you like to play, but also about the champions that your opponents like to play, and maybe how fun, shall we say, they are to play against, how interesting they are to play against. I'm going to ask you about a few champions, and I want you to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, how interesting they are to play against, how interesting the matchup is, regardless of what you're playing. Sound good? Champion number 1, we're going to keep it really simple, all right? The menace of top lane, Cassante.
Honestly, people, like, they threw this champion way too, like, overboard in terms of, like, they just say this champion has everything, it's broken. But every single time I play against it, it's just useless. Mostly because I just play Gwen or something like that into it, and it kind of just mitigates it, does nothing. But then when we get late game, my whole team's complaining. They're like, I'm 6 items, this guy's 3 items, he still 1v1s me. It's kind of like a 7, because there's actually a lot of counterplay on both sides of the matchup in most of the matchups you play. Like Gnar, there's a lot of kiting that goes on, and the Cassante can't just run at you, just kill you. It's actually a lot of back and forth. It's a pretty fun matchup.
Okay, Denethor, the second champion. I feel like our rating's about to drop. The new the flavor of the month. It's Udyr.
It's not as bad as like the flavor, like the new flavor that's coming out, but it is pretty bad. I'd probably say like a 3, 4 maybe. This new tank that's everyone's playing, at least like in solo queue, and I think I saw an LEC. Yeah, the Zac champion.
Oh.
It's a bit of a menace right now.
All right, Denethor, I got 2 more for you. All right. First one, it's gonna be the Darius.
That's got to be like a 2. It's not fun for either side of the matchup. I'm trying to think about what matchups I would prefer into them, and the only one that's like actually fun is Jace. And when I get to play Jace into it, it's like a 6 or 7. Then any other champ, it's just not fun. I just don't enjoy playing the game. Make one mistake, he runs you down. With Udyr, he can't just kill you. Like, yeah, he's annoying, he heals, he has everything. He's just a dirty champion, but then there's Darius, so it's like, is it really worse?
Last champion, everyone's favorite top laner. You probably never play against it, but I'm curious. Singed. What's that like? What's the matchup?
I just have to say, if you play Singe, you're just disgusting. Like, I don't understand how you can have fun. Your only way to win the game is to make sure you get behind my turret and don't touch me and don't go near me. The only time they ever win is if I mess up and allow them to get a good proxy, and then they end up just running through. It doesn't happen a lot, but I feel like it's just not a fun way to play the game at all. And then the other way they kill you is if you constantly push into them, and then they like try and do the flash E to their W.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way they win the game. There's this Singe solo queue player that always invades the tri-bush, and Mobility came. He was like, that guy always invades, tell your team to stack the tri-bush. And then we stacked, and he just ran in as expected, and we all 5 just died. It was Singed. And it was
what?
A tragedy.
Oh my goodness.
That's the only bad Singe story I have.
Anything else that you want to say about the upcoming matches, the tournament as a whole, or any shoutouts?
I need to add a champion here.
Oh.
There needs to be a 1. It just has to be Teemo. Play Teemo. There's something wrong with you. Like, there's already something wrong with you since you're playing top lane. But it's just something even worse.
I love it.
It's not okay.
There's already something wrong with you because you're playing top lane. I think a statement that I've only heard other top laners utter, and I love it.
It's just true. Sad truth.
Well, Denethor, thank you so much for joining me for this one, and let's get back to the show. Thanks so much again to Denethor. I mean, look, top lane, I love just the little self-flame at the end. Like, yeah, there's something wrong with you already if you're playing top lane, but there's something even more wrong with you if you're playing Teemo or Singe. That's why Denethor goes for the high mechanics champions. But, Grapes, we still got 2 more groups left to go, and we can keep it trucking along, as now we are going to move on to Group C. And, like, we try to avoid spoilers on the show, Grapes, but just let it be known that this group was a banger.
I think we probably knew this going in as well. It felt like these were 2 matchups where we had no idea who anybody was going to win in either of them. Mist versus Morningstar, Pulse versus Pookie Bears. They all had their good moments, and I was just really excited to get into this one. We could just jump right in with our previously match of the week between Ole Miss and Morningstar White.
Yeah, I mean, in match of the week for a reason, shall we say. Again, no spoilers, but this one may be the greatest Tier 3 series ever played. Ole Miss, they're going to get it started early with the dive on mid, but Sol able to clean up a double on his signature talent. Yusin also getting the Fiora, each of their signature champions on the side of Morningstar White. So getting out alive, and look at Yusin clean up this fight.
Yeah, who let these guys get both Fiora and Talon in the same game? I guess it's a good strategy. You can just let them play it in game 1, and then you
Fearless
don't have to
draft.
ban it the rest of the series because we're playing Fearless. But it definitely hurts right here, especially when Yusun's able to do something like this. I mean, he's somebody who came from China. This looks like one of those Chinese TikTok montages, how fast he's able to proc all those vitals.
Yeah, that one's crazy. And then this game, I mean, as you can, it's just a Morningstar highlight reel. This first game, they played so unbelievably well. Yusun, Sol again, the flank from the Talon. Look at them clean up the fight. 5-4-0 ace. They're trying to end the game. Yusun is actually going to die in the base. Things may be getting a little dicey, but we already saw one good shuffle earlier, Grapes. How about another HTY finding 4?
And that just about wrapped things up. 31 minutes, and that's a Morningstar Game 1 victory. Our higher seed Ole Miss have to do something about it, and it's not going to start off very well for them here. You see Icelandic Hero getting caught out. He is able to escape finally. Thank you, Milio. But he will go down eventually, and things got super hectic in this early skirmish.
Things got super hectic in this game in general. It was so even for so incredibly long, with everybody trading kills back and forth. Yusun picking up a few here, Shogo picking up a few, everybody getting strong. But in the end, it's Morningstar that get somewhat ahead in the early game, about 1.5k. They start up the Baron, but you don't want to do that against Rumble.
That's a really, really nice equalizer. He's able to basically tag everybody on Morningstar there. Pika has to run away as well. And with the Baron already so low, Ole Miss can go right back to it. They just have to make sure
they'll pick it up,
they
no big
don't
deal, right?
get it stolen. And
Uh-oh.
oh no! It got stolen.
And they're actually able to take a huge lead with that as well. Now 5,000 gold in the lead. They're back onto the Baron yet again. Can they secure this one cleanly? And no, they cannot. Look at this. KJ into the back line. Icelandic gonna pick up 2 kills. He will die, but miss. They thwart the Baron yet again, prolonging their life in this game long enough for them to find a pick ahead of the Ocean Soul. 2 kills, and now with the composition with this unkillable Jax against 4 auto attackers, how do they fight when they can't die? Well, it turns out pretty easily.
Yeah, you said it. Disgusting Jax angle here for KJ. Able to, just block everything with that Counter-Strike, getting 2 kills there. 43 minutes was the timer, and remember, Ole Miss was down about 6k in this game too, but they were able to find their way back into it. A nice shuffle from your Uncle Sam to match what HTY was able to do to him the game before, and we are headed to a game number 3.
Well, yes, we are. And if you thought this 43-minute banger was not enough for you, strap in, because y'all ain't seen nothing yet. And this game, it is all about the early skirmishes. Big-time bot dive coming through from Morningstar White. Kills so far, 1-for-0 in favor of them. AH gonna randomly die to a flash W from Ornn. And in the end, trades, it's actually 3-for-2 in favor of Ole Miss. But with solo kills like this from Yusun, Morningstar White gonna take yet another early advantage.
And it's always the top side here for Morningstar, right? It's Yusun getting a solo kill. We're going to see Sol on the Kha'Zix get one onto Stray as
Look
well.
at the
Here,
scoreline.
Stray didn't have a great time here in this one, and Sol got very, very fed. They're going to try to dive him again, but this time Ole Miss going to try to at least bring some reinforcements. He's able to survive that initial dive and get the kill onto Yusun. Rhino on the Ornn with the center lane, able to pick up another one, and Ole Miss are right back into this one.
And yet again, it's neck and neck, gold completely even. We've seen this before. Morningstar White, they're on the Baron. They are getting forced off as Ole Miss is diving into everybody. But look at Yusun firing the needles through. Ole Miss prevents the Baron, but they don't really win the fight. And yet again, onto the Baron. Both junglers are chasing each other into their base. Everybody's dying on the Baron. It is pandemonium on the Rift.
Yeah, Shogo, brilliant spacing on the Senna. Able to get one, gets a double kill right here. All of a sudden, the Baron's super low. Can they steal it? It's the Ornn! Rhino with the Call of the Forge God steals the Baron. That's a triple kill for Shogo. Ole Miss are now ahead. They're looking to push, but uh-oh, Sol diving the back line, picking up the shutdown onto Shogo, and it looks like the Rebels went just a bit too far.
I know, they get so far ahead, they think they could close the game with the Baron, but I mean, Sol on this Kha'Zix, man, just so incredibly disgusting. They clean up 4. Now the game, yet again, back to even. We're going to have another fight. Morningstar, 3-for-0. This is going to prevent yet another Ocean Soul for Ole Miss. They pick up a Baron along the right way, by the way. They have a Baron to their name, and look at Sol, yet again, cleaning up the fight.
They got a 1k shutdown onto Yusin, but another just incredibly strong carry as Soul looks to try to end the game alongside the rest of his team, but Rhino comes to the rescue again, saving the open Nexus, getting a 1 kill, forcing Soul back. He has to flash away, but all of a sudden, Yusin able to respawn. Can he try to backdoor himself? Pops to Zanya's. It's 2 autos away, but Shogo gets the kill. Pika Pika is going to go down as well, and suddenly it's a 5v3.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's a problem. Ole Miss might be able to go coast to coast. A TP in from Rhino. They're going to try to clean up the kills. They're going to try to win this game. 36 minutes in. Rhino, he's going to pick up AH. It's a disaster, but where's the teleport? Where's the teleport going? Into the base. There's a ward. HTY, the back door to steal the game and the series. Morningstar White 2-1 over Ole Miss. What an unbelievable series. And this upstart squad, Grapes, moving on to the quarterfinals.
Man, my heart's beating, and I already knew what happened in this series going into the show. What a banger this was, and I don't use that word a lot if you are familiar. Morningstar, just a brilliant performance. Ole Miss had some moments, but did look a little bit shaky, especially in that early game. We'll see if they can bounce back, as they are now in the lower bracket of Group C.
Yep, and now backs against the wall. One of our pre-tournament favorites, similar to Aporia. They have their work to do, but on the other side of the bracket, Pulse versus Pookie Bears fighting for their tournament lives, and it's going to all get started around our favorite new objective, the Void Grubs. It's a little sloppy in this fight, but there's one carry in particular that is all right with how this one ended up going.
Yeah, look at Reppy on the Tristana, able to dodge away from that there, picks up a double kill, jumps on top of Vamsk as well, and the Tristana's 3-0 to start off this game. They have a very strong mid-jungle with him alongside Kryra on the Brand. Got canceled though on that jump. He flashes into the package, and that is a big chunk of gold given right back over to the opposing mid laner.
Yeah, Vamps, nice flash as well, able to pick up the solo kill, and now around the Dragon, look at Cozy just being huge in the front line. The Kidnap getting a shutdown of his own out of the Corki, Reppy buying himself space as well, and in the ensuing fights, whether or not he got solo killed, Reppy too damn strong on this Tristana.
Yeah, flashes forward, he asks, hey AB, can I get a little help? Gets the bubble, able to get just the last amount of range to finalize that kill onto Jan. X-Roll finishes him off, but that's all right. We're going to go right back to the Dragon, actually, for our next clip, but it was an ace picked up for Pulstar. This was the start of a very hefty, awkward sequence, I think, for both of these teams here, as right off the bat, you see Reppy in the top lane actually wasn't able to cancel the TP of Vamsk, and he gets punished heavily with a huge package down the middle.
Yeah, Pookie's team fighting, I mean, they were not to be trifled with whatsoever, keeping this game exceptionally close the entire time, but Reppy going for the old solo queue strategy. I like to call this one rage splitting, although maybe it's not rage, because Reppy with the Baron just trying to end the game, and in fact does Pulse. They managed to pick up the first one, and now they're looking for a second. It starts off in the mid lane yet again. That is the focal point of the series. Vamps seen a couple solo kills so far in this series from him, but the minion autos, oh no, Reppy's able to trade it.
Yeah, this game was a little sloppy towards the beginning, but you see the scoreline. Pulse was very ahead kind of the entire way. We look at Enthralled and a B here on the Senate Tom Kench. This is a lane that they're super familiar on. You see a B already has 2 kills. Is going to pick up another with that Tongue Lash, and Kryra on the Zac again. Dominated on it last week and does so again here.
Grapes, you know, call this a hot take. Maybe we shouldn't be giving Kryra his Zac. This guy makes this champion look so incredibly strong, which, by the way, it is. But Reppy 8-1-3 on the Sakali. They're going to try to make a pick on the side lane and do. AB showing up just a little too late. But the gold is just, unfortunately, not in Pookie Bear's favor. They're getting stat checked by the support, man, as AB eventually going to die, but they just had to commit everybody to do it.
Yeah, that was the last positive thing that we're going to see from the Pookie Bears here in this tournament, because the next one is this absolute montage play from Kryra, knocking up everybody, and Reppy cleaning things up as well. It's 21-7. Kryra dashes in again, looking for some more knockups, some more crowd control, and a win 2-0 for Pulstar.
Yep, Pulse, a nice clean win from them, a team that has stayed, we said it last week, Grapes, best of the rest, it seems like they've been so far. They're trying to break into the upper echelon, and now next week they have a chance to do it, as yet again our next matchup is not going to be a rematch. I mean, Polestar, they're going to be against Ole Miss, and a clean 2-0 win like that is the kind of thing that could lead you to believe they might just find a win.
And don't forget, Pulse played a very close set against Morningstar White, the team that is now the champion of Group C. You could even argue that they probably deserved to have that win if it was not for that disastrous Baron call when they were up so much in that first game. So, making quick work of Pookie Bears, and all of a sudden, as we head into our summary of what happened in Group C, a very exciting matchup between themselves and Ole Miss.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just want to give one more shout out to Morningstar White again, for they are now into the quarterfinals. Definitely one of my favorite teams to follow at this tournament so far, just for the story that they have surrounding them.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Polestar, because after their close loss to Morningstar, they were able to come back with a 2-0 sweep over the Pookie Bears. And we got the chance to sit down with their mid laner Reppy to break down their gameplay from Game 1 in another episode of Semi-Pro POV. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Semi-Pro POV, where we go into the minds of some of the NACLQ's best players to see what they were thinking during the tournament's best moments. Today, from Polestar, we have Reppy, the mid laner. Reppy, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for asking.
We're taking a look at your lower bracket matchup against the Pookie Bears. What can you tell us about this Game 1 draft?
Usually Polestar likes to drop mid jungle together to have like a good 2v2 duo, which is why we opted in to pick Lucian first. Since we had a lot of mid bans this game, Azir, Nico, Akali, Orianna, decided to opt in for AD mid and AP jungle. It was either this or Kindred, but since they locked in Poppy, then we just decided to go Brand. For me, my thought process is that I can have push whenever I want. Obviously, Corki heavily outscales Tristana, so it's not really like a lane you want to be trading too much in. For one, I have a Brand, a champion that wants to full clear. They have a Poppy, champion that wants to make plays around the map, right? My idea going into this game was to try to deny as much CS as possible and try to make him take bad bases. Maybe 20 seconds before this, I think I faked my base, so I make the Corki think that I base on this wave. But instead, we're just setting up to fight the Grubby since top is pretty chunked and he has no flash, right? And we have reset champions. With our planning and like decisiveness, it goes pretty well for the game. I think they grief, like they all decided like to flash in for some reason, and it leads to me getting a triple kill.
Let's move to about 15 minutes into the game. The decision is to send your bot lane mid, and then for you to start split pushing. When you're side laning on a champion like Trist in a comp game like this, like what is the general comp strategy, and like how do you guys normally play it out?
What I understand from side laning is that it should be whoever's first on mid, and then they should shift to whatever side we're trying to push on. So after they push the wave, they should just shift into fog and then just pressure the map or just get deep vision. If they decide to contest the waves, we can just shift to another lane and have a like stacked wave ready. I do the shot calling for like most of the part, but if my team tells me it's grief, like I'll just listen to them and like group. But if I think a play is good, I would probably go for it.
Game has gone on for a little bit longer. You guys are up by a little bit. You have soul point, and you find this Corki in a side lane. But do you have anything you remember about this play specifically?
No, we were just screaming Baron afterwards since he greeted a wave, and we see all their players. And we are just like yelling at each other, yo, kill this Corki and then go Baron, then reset into Dragon.
However, you actually don't go reset here. You actually stay top lane.
So I know that Corki really wants to catch this wave because he's gonna open up top with package, right? So my idea is to cancel him and either die for 1-for-1 or 1-for-0, and then let my team 4v4, or I kill him and I end the game. In this bush, I S-key and I just wait for Corki to show because, like I said, he's gonna deploy top with package and catch this wave.
The goal here is actually to cancel his TP, but you just start a little bit too late.
Yeah.
And so then he comes down bot, and then this is actually...
Packages my whole team, yeah.
Yeah.
If you heard the comms in game, I'm just like profusely apologizing because I'm like, oh, I keep pushing the game.
But then you just decide it's not worth it to go back. You might as well just try to take this tower as well.
Yeah, because Udyr can't match me, and Corki could, but if he's with me, then my team is winning 4v4. The thought process is good, it's just the execution was a bit lackluster.
they find Cozy kind of just hanging out here.
So the comms were to cheese at this point since Corky was dead. I don't think any of us were in the position to follow on Cozy's side, and we were just gonna let him die, but he kind of smurfed it and got out.
What does he do here that he's able to survive? Okay, he ults over and then dashes. Okay, oh, nice play.
Yeah, that champion is so disgusting.
Something interesting happens here that I want you to explain. Cozy backs and he's planning on TPing here, but then as soon as he starts his TP, you actually start TPing towards the base.
I can end the game in front of Udir's face, right? If I really wanted to. The thought process was to drag Corky since he has package and drag them away from my team. But since they both decided to TP, I just start shifting to the Baron. Like in comms, I'm telling my teammates, yo, just stall their bases. I'm literally gonna end the game. But since they both TP, like we should opt in to fight instead.
Do you think it was a mistake for Corky to TP back, or do you think he needed to prevent the game from ending?
I definitely think that he's the one that needed to TP because he's like all their gold and all their damage.
I was surprised that they both TP'd instead of just one of them.
Me too. I just wanted to make them dizzy. Which I guess.
I guess they were, yeah. You have your matchup against Ole Miss this Saturday.
Ole Miss has been briefing a bit. I think they're really weak topside and that they just give all their resources to Shogo and hope to God he carries, but our bot lane's really good and our top side will stomp Ole Miss like into the concrete.
Some words of confidence there from Reppy as we got to take a look at his POV. Thank you so much, Reppy, for joining us, and let's get back to the show.
Our top side will stomp Ole Miss into the concrete. Fighting words from the mid laner of Polestar and Grapes. Definitely a series that all of us are going to have our eyes on next week on Saturday. But before we get there, we have one more group of games left to go through, and it is Group D. We had a few upsets in round one as ISU and Wang's Revenge found themselves against all odds in the upper bracket, with one of them going to quarterfinals, while either our 4 or 5 seed in the group stage is going to go home.
Yeah, both Lotus and UCI went 4-1 in the Swiss stage. They were top 6 seeds heading in, and now they have to play against each other for elimination. But before we get over there, let's start off with our upper bracket matchup between the two upsetters in ISU and Wang's Revenge, because this was also a bit of a spicy one. We're going to start things off in the bottom lane, where Wang's Revenge's bot laner Deathwalker gets off to a great start on this Kalista Renata lane. They get 2 kills down on the bottom side, and they're going to pick up some more here.
Yeah, I mean, just such a nicely played game. We've been really impressed with Wang's Revenge throughout this tournament so far, getting another huge lead for themselves. But Grapes, let's not forget what ISU can do when they have Trundle, Nico, Drew Dozer. What a pop blossom that is.
We see highlight after highlight from this guy on the exact same champion. They keep giving it to him. This duo of Trundle and Nico has done wonders for ISU so far in the qualifiers, and they didn't actually have a super clean end to this game after that fight. You see Debonair having a really nice angle here. We have Boil the Oil on the Garen, also just looking huge. He's able to finish off Meslo and then go and try to grab another one as well. And Wang's Revenge, they were right back into this one.
But of course, like all good things, it must come to an end as this fight does wind down. We will have one more for you all. And again, this game, extremely close, extremely competitive between these two teams. But now in the base, ISU, they're pushing in. And look at Drew Dozer yet again. Finds 3. The one shot comes through, and the Redbirds go up 1-0 on the brink of quarters.
Come right back into game number 2. Rapid on his Pantheon once again. Remember, that was what clinched Wang their win in round number 1, and they're off to a good start. They find the kill on Disconnector. Rapid, he goes a little bit too far, runs right into the big face of Cross on the Jin Zhao, and he's able to pick up not 1, not 2, but 3.
And there's a mantra that we have. Bangers only when it comes to ISU. This team knows it. Everybody knows it. They only play these crazy games, Grapes, as that is not going to change. They have a lead right here, but these fights are going to get messy. Excuse me, Meslo barely getting out alive. And look at Debonair on the Akali. He's got a nice position, and he's going to clean up quite a few kills.
Yeah, was able to get a little bit more, looking to finish things off in a 4v3, but Cross jumps forward. He's able to find one, goes down, but then it's these big carries in Disconnector and Drew Dozer once again. Drew's 5-0-3, and that means that he has a target on his head. They're going to send 3 right down to him, but look at this. The shockwave into the Bard ult, into the Bard stun. Somehow Drew Dozer is able to survive, and everybody on Wang drops to the ground.
Yeah, Drew Dozer, Orianna is filthy. Nausicaa, Bard is filthy. Drew Dozer, look at that scoreline, folks. 0-11 at this moment. So unbelievably strong. The game gonna get chaotic, but at this point, 25.5 minutes in, ISU, they are 14,000 gold in the lead. And now, Grapes, they may do a little trolling, but Drew Dozer, he's gonna make sure that they pick up kills before it's all done.
Yeah, Nausicaa throws the ult on him to try to delay his death a little bit. Shout out to Devonair, who's trying his best here in this game number 2. But then the other carry, Cross, comes right back and will finish the game for the Redbirds. That's another kill, and that is 33-13 to finish that one off. What a story for Illinois State University. They now have made it to the quarterfinal stage for the first time in their organization's history while competing in these Tier 3 events.
And Grapes, I could be wrong, but I do believe Illinois State, they have played in every single Open Qualifier since we started this tournament format at the beginning of 2022. First time they're making the quarterfinals. So what an amazing achievement for the Redbirds and all these players that have been around for a while, making it to new heights. Wang, unfortunately for them, they're going down to the lower bracket, but still, I mean, this team already having achieved more than I think most predicted that they would, and they have a chance next week against their next opponent.
Well, let's find out who it is as we go into our last series of the week with Lotus versus UCI. Starting off here around the Dragon Pit, Lotus looking a little bit scared after that initial engage from Light Pulse, but watch Aljun on the Annie, a bit of a new pick, comes in, finishes him off with the Tibbers, and it looks like they're going to try to find another one here, but Senna on the Azir is the story of these mid laners, Hawk, that got this game 1 going.
It is absolutely the story of these mid laners. Aljun maybe bankrolling things a little bit for UCI, though, as he's really the only one with deaths, and Lotus is just rolling through this game. Forcing on Lucian, having a tear in this one for 0-5 so far. They're able to pick up a Baron, and with that Baron, now desperation around the Dragon. UCI, yet again, look at this Lucian going to get out alive and try to start firing in and cut people down.
Yeah, look at them. They're over the wall. They're just hammering in on the UCI players in the Dragon Pit. Not fair if you can't reach them, and so UCI does end up falling. A really dominant game 1 from Lotus, who we had very high expectations from coming in, and they now are looking to pull off a sweep, but it's not going to be so easy against the Anteaters.
Yeah, and remember, Graves, we actually saw this matchup in the Open Qualifier. We saw this we did content on this. Senna on the way as a counter pick to Aljun's Azir, and things gonna get going early for UCI, picking up a nice kill right there on a Frost 4. It's a messy fight, but look at this. UCI, they're off to a big lead with Senna leading the charge. Huge Tempered Fate, though, from Mixture, and they're able to find Gorka. And here comes Lotus. They're starting to bring the game back, Grapes.
Oh, man. Aljun really wanted that kill. He's still a little bit far behind, 0-4-0, but we're going to forgive him at least for now. Lotus still pretty far behind, about 2k, but now things get a little bit hairy around the Dragon Pit. Mike Young misses his Q, and watch Frost here on the engage. Oh, just kidding. Ends up going back away. UCI, they're still fighting. They're still going for something. They're going to send the ulti in from Light Pulse, and looks like they're just going to send their front line a little bit too far.
Yeah, Light Pulse, I mean, they're so desperately trying to find something, right? They've chunked Porsche out of the fight, guys. We can go, 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 but they don't really have a composition that's built to super hardcore dive in. They can't keep up with Light Pulse. The lady getting separated out in the front as well. Lotus, they just team fight too well together, and now at this point, the game is completely even. The soul is thwarted. And Lotus, they have brought it back from the dead. UCI now on the ropes. Lotus starting up the Baron. Can UCI save their tournament after such an incredible start?
Well, they're not even going to try. They just let that go down uncontested. That is a big detriment for UCI. And it looks like with that Baron buff, Lotus looking to push towards the end. Frost there with the Magnet Storm will stun up a bunch, and Porsche on this front line as well, doing so much work to buy space. and Lotus are in control. They get a couple of kills, and they eventually end this game. Final score, actually, just 1 kill ahead, 12-11, but that is a 2-0 over UCI.
Yeah, and I mean, a sad story for UCI, starting off 4-1, not even picking up a win in the GSL stage of this tournament, and they end up taking an early exit. Lotus now, they're moving on. A really solid showing from this team. I think a team that Graves, both of us, still have some expectations for, and as we can bring up the standings for Group D, it's the Redbirds, again, want to reiterate what an incredible story for them making it to the quarterfinals, and we should have a very exciting matchup between the upstart Wang's Revenge and the favorite Lotus in the next round.
Another matchup that the two of these teams, didn't play each other in that first round of groups, and so now they get to play against each other for the first time. There are some really solid players on both of these teams. They had some very strong moments. They both 2-0'd UCI, so only one of them is going to make it into the quarterfinals.
Yep, and Lotus, of course, being able to bounce back with a nice 2-0 win over UCI, and one of their players, Support Mixture, has been instrumental in not only their gameplay, but also with finding the roster to compete with in the first place. Graves got a chance to sit down with Mixture after their last win. Let's check it out.
Hello everybody, I'm here with Mixture, the support for Lotus Esports. Mixture, congratulations on your 2-0 win over UCI. It got a little hairy in that game number 2. You were down by a big amount of gold. UCI was ahead and looking to really make it a very close series. What was the process in terms of coming back and turning that game around?
I think from my point of view, I thought we would always outskill them. I think we had better players in general. I think we would just out-micro them, and we will out-macro them at the same time once the game slowly gets into the late game. I think early game we kind of made some mistakes, but I don't think it was the big problem, because I think putting me on Bard and they have 2 carries with no mobility just makes the game a lot easier. When I just Bard with them, we could just all go on them and they just all die easily.
It was it seemed like all of a sudden, their lead didn't matter too much, and then it kind of just all came around. You did have some really good Bard ultis. Is that a champion that you're a big fan of?
I've actually never played Bard with my
really?
team. If I'm gonna be completely honest, this was actually, we didn't even scrim together, but my team trusted me and I trust my team, so we all thought that this was a good Bard angle, so we just picked it at the spot, and it turned out to be great. So yeah.
Well, it's been a couple weeks of playing with this Lotus roster, and I actually heard that you were a big factor in terms of putting this roster together and helping out Lotus in terms of, finding the right players for this team. Do you want to talk about what that process was like and how you guys decided to go with the team that you guys have right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I started with connecting with the Lotus owner, and then we start scouting players, and long time before OQ started, we start doing combines and we start looking at players. I think all the players right now on the roster are the ones that I assume, and me and both owners assume are the best options right now. And I think they're all doing really well. I think Porsche is really just popping off in the top lane. I think AOG also doing really well in the mid. I think me and Psycho, we're forced in now. I think we go long in, way back. So I think me and him are really popping off in the bot lane. And Frostforce, I think, is an insane jungler. So I think overall, I'm pretty happy with the team, and I think we can make it to finals.
Yeah, you and Forsen played together last year for a little bit. And was there ever a history before that, or is it just from last year?
I think it was just from last year, and I think we're currently. I don't want to be too cocky, but I think we're right now the best bot lane right now in OQ.
What was the decision? Because I know that he kind of has gone on and off of playing. What was it like in terms of bringing him back onto the team?
It took a lot of convincing. At first, he didn't want to play, but I think with how the roster looked, I think he was willing to give it one more shot, and I think we're doing pretty well this OQ as well. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it seems like you guys. This is probably the roster that you have the biggest expectations on in terms of your playing experience. So, does it feel different knowing that maybe your expectations are to go really far in the tournament versus just having maybe not a lot of pressure because you are on a team with a little bit more newer players?
I think that's definitely a factor because I have, as I said, I picked Barn, which is first time yet, which I wasn't feel too pressure, but now with like winning being like a main focus, I think I should also step it up a bit. I think I've been also playing pretty bad to my standards, but overall, I think if we all focus on the game and if we all try our hardest, I think we'll win the whole queue.
Okay. Your next matchup is against Wang's Revenge. What do you think about about that team? Because I don't think you've played each other yet.
I haven't. We never played each other, but I think it's a pretty interesting team. I think they have a strong top side. I think I've played with Rapid a long while ago in solo queue. I think he's a solid jungler. But other than that, I don't think it's gonna be a hard match because I think as a team, I think we're better than them. Yeah.
So your prediction is 2-0 or 2-1 for Lotus?
2-0. 2-0, yeah.
Okay, nice. You said your goal, your overall expectation is, you think your team is good enough to win this Open Qualifier. What are your goals beyond that? Is it to just make it to the promotion tournament? Is it to, eventually play in the NACL or LCS? What are your goals as a player?
My goal is to eventually play in NACL. I've also just role swapped, like it's been a year, so now I'm starting to get a hand of the support role. So I think as the years progress, I'll get better and better, and this is only like the beginning of my journey, I think.
All right. Well, I hope that we get to see more of you play for both this week and beyond. Mixture, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me. Before we go, if you have any shout outs or anything that you want the people to know before we move on with the show.
Yeah, shout out to my mom and family, my team, and my manager Marquez. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mixture, and let's get on with Tier 3 tonight. Shout out to Mixture. A 2-0 for Lotus is what he predicts, and honestly, Hawk, couldn't really expect anything else.
I would say that maybe Lotus is the favorite going in for sure. It's going to be an exciting matchup, but I just love Mixture was like giving a little bit of trash talk, but was being very polite about it. Like, so sweet. Yeah. Shout out to Mixture for sitting down for the interview.
Played really well against UCI, and they are on to their next round. But before we take a look at that and some other content, let's look at where our points are in terms of where players are at after the conclusion of this week. Right now, at the top of the board is BlackRock, as we said, 75 qualification points. And then what's interesting, Hawk, only one of the 4-1 teams, Morningstar White, actually ended up winning their group. So we have two other teams with Winthrop and ISU who both went 3-2 in the Swiss stage that are now at 3rd and 4th with 65 points each.
And let's remember, those Open Qualifier games matter a lot because, if this was the scoreboard right now, BlackRock, Morningstar having that little bit of an edge over their counterparts and everybody else now in the hunt. I mean, especially for these top 8 teams that we still have, or should I say, yeah, top 8 teams, except for, I suppose, anyone that's been eliminated. Like, there's a lot left to still be gained. Making semifinals, really, is the benchmark at this point, and only 4 can do it.
Yeah, so those 4 at the top are currently in the lead. However, still a lot more League of Legends to be played. And as we go on from that, Hawk, let's talk about a new segment on this show that we'll be doing here for the first time.
Yep, we've got a brand new live segment we're going to call Pass the Salt here for Tier 3 tonight. You might have seen something similar on your favorite traditional sports talk show program, so we decided to bring our own version as we do to this show. The way it works is that we will be given a topic where we will then collectively have 2 minutes to debate that question. Grapes, I'll turn the mic over to you first, and we can pull up our first topic on the screen.
Man, I gotta get all aggressive. I gotta start thinking about things really quickly. Who is the best bot lane duo in this tournament? Okay, this is a quick question, and we are gonna start right now. The best bot lane in this tournament? I mean, no real argument against it. It is Shogo and Rhino for Ole Miss. I know that they lost their last series against Morningstar White, but when you take a look at what they were able to do, even in their losses, very, very impressive stuff. Shogo and the Lucian in their only win looked really good, and then we can't forget about Rhino's Ornn in that final game. Stealing away the Baron, this duo plays so strong together, and also get a ton of resources thrown their way. If Ole Miss wants to go far in this OQ, it's going to be behind their bottom lane in Shogo and Rhino, and that's why I think they are the best bot lane in this tournament.
Grapes, I know the point of this segment is that we're supposed to argue with one another, but I'm going to be honest with you. I completely agree. I think Shogo and Rhino
No, you're not
is
supposed to do that. You're supposed
is
to
the best
disagree.
bot lane in this tournament. Look, it's just facts, man. We've had Shogo as the number one, as the team of the week, 80 carry twice so far. And also, I mean, Reppy, even in the content piece, did pay some respect. But, they're not the only ones, all right? I would say they're at the top. But, I mean, we just saw a really great series out of players like Forsen and Mixture really making their presence felt in that one, having to pop off for themselves. I mean, Mobility and Chookies, they've been quiet so far, but that game 2 against Aporia, there was some pretty evil things happening on that Ezreal pick. So, maybe so far, Shogo and Rhino, they might be the best.
No.
Are they going to be the best by the end of the tournament, though? I don't know.
I'm disagreeing with you now.
Oh,
Shogo and
you're
Rhino,
disagreeing.
They suck. They're awful. They're terrible. That's why Ole Miss lost the series. My new best bot lane for this event is Lynx and Rovex over on Aporia. They lost
Hey, that's
the event,
a good honorable
but
mention,
Lynx
too.
had such a good series on the Varus in that game, too. Looked really solid all throughout. They play so many different flexible things. They're going to destroy Ole Miss and Shogo and Rhino.
Oh, okay. You know what? We'll see. Shogo and Rhino, they got to get there, because you know what? The knock against them, they might not. And that's gonna be time, Grapes. I know. We're supposed to disagree.
You threw me off, man. You're
I
supposed
know.
to disagree with me.
But look, it's just it's too true. They have been the best. Reppy paid that respect. But we can pool our second topic now up on the screen. And Grapes, I think we might disagree on this one. I'm gonna let you go first yet again. But which player needs to step it on this week? Start the clock right now.
This hurts to say because I call this guy, I might even consider this guy a friend. But over on Team Fish Taco, Limo, man, come on. We need some more out of you here for Team Fish Taco. Looked very, very quiet throughout that entire series that they had against BlackRock. Kitso really had his way. And if we want this Team Fish Taco team to look the way that they did back in summer when they were part of Team Ambition, it all goes through their jungle. Levitate and Snow, they're trying their best. Sudsy, still performing pretty admirably in the mid lane. Limo was the difference maker in what helped TA win their finals back in summer, and he hasn't looked as good this time around. A really good chance to prove himself against Vacant and Flocon in that mid jungle for CCG. I mean, but if Team Fish Taco don't win, I think a large part of that might be because of him.
You know what, Grapes? I disagree somewhat with this. I think some of their struggles may be attributed to the fact that he's not lived up to those expectations that we set. But I'm just going to say it. I think Team Fish Taco, they just got blasted by BlackRock because they're worse. BlackRock's just better. You know who needs to step it up? I'm going to talk about Ole Miss one more time. KJ, what the hell is going on, man? I was coming into this tournament. I was batting for you. I said you're going to be one of the best junglers at this tournament. And so far, you've been good. You had one really good game on Wukong. But the other ones, man, I feel like we've not been getting it done. We've not been booming the bot lane the way that we normally do. I mean, I need the slam dunks to come in. You may have been on my Dunk Squad playlist right there, but I need to see more. That should have been a nice Land Hero montage, and unfortunately, it just has not been so far.
No. KJ's been all right. I'm looking towards the top lane here for Stray over on Ole Miss if we're pointing fingers at anybody. This guy was at MSI. He is a pro player, and he just got skill checked in that last game against Morningstar White. This is someone I know
But
he
you
can play
can't expect
super,
Limo
super well.
to carry when all of his lanes are getting gapped in just the same way, right? So you're going to put it on Limo and not KJ? I mean,
I don't know, man. It was that top lane. It was a little gross. I don't know. I thought we had some high expectations for him. So, oh man. Okay, well, those are our
we're
first
gonna
two
get
topics.
flamed so hard on Twitter for this.
It's time for our final topic on Pass the Salt. Hawk, we'll go over to you first with our final question. Who's the winner of this first tournament?
Start the timer. I'm just gonna give you 3 words because this team, I already said it about 30 seconds ago. They're just better. BlackRock Esports. This team is different, man. We didn't have high expectations for them coming in, but they have exceeded everything. 8-0 so far at the OQ.
That was quick. All right, you're gonna give me all this chance to talk.
I'm gonna give you as much as you need because all the people out there, they know I'm right. They know I'm right.
Well, I have a bit of a trap card right here because I have some insider information that you do not know, Hawk. When I got to talk to Robbie, Bob, and Kitsuo, I asked them if they were going to go on all the way undefeated. They said, there's one team that kind of worries us a little bit. You want to know who that team is?
I would love
It
to.
is Morningstar White. The Chinese superstars look so good mechanically. I think they have probably the best mechanical topside of this entire tournament. And with the way that they're playing, I know that they're new, but sometimes you need a little bit of new blood to spice things up here in Tier 3. I think Morningstar have looked so good this entire event. They are going to do very well going forward in the playoffs. They already beat Winthrop, who is a big favorite in the Swiss stage, and so I have them being your champions of this first OQ.
Ooh, a blazing hot take to pick Morningstar White, but you know what, Grapes? If Hands won championships, then T1 would not be the world champions. They would not have speed ran that LPL gauntlet. You got to have the power of friendship. You got to play together as a team. And look, Morningstar, their macro's good. I'll give them that. This team has impressed me in many, many ways. But BlackRock, they have been unflappable, they have been infallible, they have been invincible, and they are going to run it. Nobody has surpassed Robert Bobbert at this tournament, and nobody will.
We'll say they do have a pretty easy, not an easy quarterfinal, but the potential quarterfinal matchup is Lotus versus
I thought you were gonna.
Wang.
I thought you were gonna about to call
So
Team Fish
compared to some
Taco
of those
easy,
other
like an
ones.
easy previous schedule.
No, that's Winthrop versus Team Fish Taco. That's a possibility. So we'll have to think about that one just a little bit more. But man, I'm all fired up. I want to debate some more, but unfortunately we're out of time. We got to head on to our next segment.
You know, if you like to see more debates, Grapes and I do a lot of that on other shows as well. But Grapes, it's now time for a brand new live segment. There's honestly maybe some more hot takes coming up in this one. I got a pre-recorded segment queued up for you all where I got a chance to sit down with a few players and put them on the spot with a little picture and word association game. I showed them a few images and then asked for their reactions and thoughts in this rendition of NACL Q&A. Let's take a look.
First word is OP.
Useless.
Fire.
Disgusting. The only reason I say this is because I was reading the tooltip of his E because I was playing a Kali and all of a sudden everyone was just autoing me in my W. I was really confused. Rumble was just smacking me with his passive. I was pretty tilted after that. And I read it. I'm like, it gives unobstructed vision. And then I went into the rabbit hole. I read up on unobstructed vision. It was talking about see past trees and stuff. Like, okay. Last time I checked, my shroud's not a tree, but I guess she can see past stealth.
I've had people play it where I've been on a few teams where they've tried it out. So WMAX is genuinely good. It's more like an AP Kog'Maw than anything else that like scales into like Kog'Maw. So honestly, I think it's quite strong. But if you're not doing WMAX 3 points, then don't even touch it. It's not good.
The only thing I really have to say about Smolder is the base damage on his E with Comet is a little bit crazy, and it makes me feel like I'm burning IRL. So every time it hits me, I just burn up on the inside.
It takes 10 years to scale, and then it's only good after 225 stacks. And it has 550 range, does nothing, and yeah, it's useless.
I like Denethor. He's one of the guys I've actually always thought was pretty good in top lane.
Rock's 908, nice guy.
Role swap, I guess, is the first thing that comes to mind. I do see a lot of role swaps from mid laners to support, and what they don't understand is that it's my territory, and if you step into it, you're gonna get burned. So I like seeing mid laners in bot because I think they're a little bit easier to play against than actual support players.
I think Order is definitely gonna beat Denethor. You can think someone's good and still beat the other them. So
no, it's beautiful. My absolute favorite thing to do to mid laners. I love terrorizing solo queue with this. I love terrorizing competent when I can too.
This is about halfway through game 2.
Halfway?
I mean, they were smoking. They were on something. And I mean, we lost this game, so I can't talk too much trash. But I mean, hey, I'm glad they gave me that because God forbid, God knows we wouldn't have had even a chance if they didn't throw that back in our side, our court. So
it feels the best because it's especially when you know the mid laner's flashless and I'm doing this and it's I can't miss. I'm playing Nautilus. This hook lollipops. If you miss a Nautilus hook, it's bad. So I see it and I'm I mean, there's no way I miss. It's a Nautilus hook.
Unfortunate. Maybe unfortunate is probably the only way. I mean, I think we just wanted to see if we can end.
Honestly, first thoughts, Thank you for that. Like we couldn't finish. I'm sorry for that, but like you gave me such a easy layup. So appreciate that, guys.
I just want to play against Winthrop again. That's it. Everything else, not really relevant.
First, I guess, I mean, I'll be seeing you guys in top 8. But I'm excited for this weekend. I'm excited to play against Music specifically. I'm really excited to run that. And then for everyone else, just, keep an eye out, because I don't know. Over the years, I felt a little bit slept on, and I want to prove everyone wrong.
I mean, guys, it's been a rough start. I won't lie. The 5-0 prediction has been led astray. You guys have not been led astray. I'm here to tell you. Like, you may think by putting your faith in us, you have been betrayed. I'm here to tell you, do not lose hope. We will be back and stronger.
Thank you very much to all the players that got to sit down with Hawk for another episode of NACL Q&A. We got some memes. We also got some real genuine thoughts about what they think about the upcoming games and their thoughts on the tournament so far. But you're into our last 10 minutes, which means it's time to get into our rapid fire section, Hawk. We're going to start off with our week 3 power rankings. We're going to still talk about all 16 of the teams a little bit, but all of the 12 teams remaining are in color. The other 4 eliminated ones, unfortunately, are colored out. And some big movers this time around.
Yeah, some big movers. Get your flamers ready, folks, because here they are, the power rankings. We got more teams staying the same, but Grapes, I think the real story right here is look at ISU up there with the big boys leapfrogging everybody into the top 4. And also Winthrop University having their rightful place up there. Morningstar White knocking around in the top 4 pretty much this entire tournament. I mean, it's almost like the Hydra meme, and maybe fans of the space would say that ISU is like the googly-eyed Hydra, but they've looked damn good so far.
I mean, with the way they're playing right now, I think they assuredly deserve their spot in that top 4, and that's why we put them up there. And also because they all are the winners of their respective groups. Lotus jump up, we have Aporia and Taco go down, and we have Pulsar once again at 9 for the 3rd week in a row. Love to see that.
Yeah, Pulsar, again, the best of the rest, but they've got a huge opportunity because Reppy talked about it a little bit in the content piece. We've referenced this a little bit. Ole Miss not moving up from 6 in the power ranking despite the 2-1 loss to Morningstar White. There were some flaws in their game, so Pulse potentially having a massive opportunity to jump over them. I think this series is going to be the make or break for both of these teams' splits as far as promotion is concerned. Going out in the 9th through 12th placing probably means you don't make promotion. Ole Miss, a team that in particular we had our eyes on contending for that spot. So Polestar, a huge, huge, huge opportunity to make it happen.
It feels a little bit bad to rank any of these teams last because they all just won a series towards the bottom. Gentle Hearts, I think the reason we kind of have them below a team like Wang is because even though Wang, lost pretty bad, they were in that upper bracket already, and Gentle Hearts looked very shaky in that game 1 despite having a big lead. If they, pull up a big win against Aporia, things will obviously change. But for now, that's where we have them located, down towards the bottom. We're sorry, Gentle Hearts.
Yeah, Gentle Hearts. Hey, if we see what we saw out of game 2 yet again, then maybe you'll just move up. Or you're going to be a tough opponent. But now it is time to move on to our Tier 3 Team of the Week, where we select one player from every role that stood out to us for their performances in the past week of games. And Grapes, some returning faces on this team from the Open Qualifier. The top side of Morningstar White. Yusin and Sol, your favorites to win the tournament. Looking good.
I mean, I know everybody on that team contributes in their own way, but Yusin and Sol specifically, man, they look so good in like every single game that they are able to play, man. And once again, it's Yusin on the Fiora, it's Sol on the Talent. I think those are the 2 champions that are representing them here right now. But some new faces to welcome to our Team of the Week as well, with Flocon, who had a great series after that first loss, which again was due to a couple of role swaps and some substitutions coming in. And then we have Pockus in the support position for BlackRock, and we put mobility here there was a lot of really solid marksman play, but specifically those couple of clips that we saw on his Ezreal, that's what really put him down in our Team of the Week for.
It was an Ezreal montage for mobility for sure. I know it felt like none of the ADs really stood above the rest. I want to give a shout out to Forsen for their play this past week. I think EU Red also can get a shout out in the support position. Trevor, Rox, both having a huge week. In mid, Drew Dozer was another name we were tossing around, as well as a Reppy. There were a lot of honorable mentions, Grapes. We had plenty of highlight reel caliber plays throughout the day. And speaking of those, we'll get to them in just a little bit. But before then, we have our upcoming schedule for the next week of games. We are now into our last day of group stage, with the deciding matches being played out on Saturday. Team Fish Taco against CCG, Aporia Gentle Hearts, Ole Miss Pulse, and Wang vs Lotus. Grapes, any thoughts looking at these?
I mean, I think they're all very exciting. These are all teams that have won one series and lost one series, which means this is what breaks the tie. Only one of these matchups is a rematch, as we mentioned earlier. That is Taco CCG. That's what I'm going to have my eyes on specifically, at least a little bit. But the other one of these matchups are going to be super exciting as well. But the problem is, Hawk, we don't actually know the schedule that's going to happen on Sunday, because that is related to what happens here today. We can take a look at some potential quarterfinals matchups here for Sunday, as we do know what group each of these teams will be going up against here, and we have some very exciting potential quarterfinal matchups.
Yeah, I mean, already off the bat, we referenced it earlier, the potential of a Winthrop against either Team Fish Taco or CCG, and then also Illinois State against the winner of that Group C matchup. That is going to be some really, really exciting stuff, as again, if you win on Saturday, your reward is yet another intense best of 3, and you best believe these teams will be preparing. BlackRock, Winthrop, Morningstar White, ISU, they're sitting pretty, waiting for their opponents. And I think the only story that's being told on our screens is we have a treat up ahead of us, as some incredible matches will be transpiring here in Tier 3 next week. But of course, one has to stand above the rest. We've already talked about these teams a little bit, and it's going to be, Grapes, our match of the week, which is, of course, that Group C matchup on Saturday, Ole Miss against Polestar.
Man, it's crazy that we have back-to-back match of the weeks in the same group with the same team, Ole Miss, and we are not upset about it whatsoever. This is going to be crazy between these two teams. We saw Reppy say that he thinks there's some weaknesses that they think they can exploit. Ole Miss, I know, really is trying to hunker down and make sure that they look like that top 4 seed that they know that they are. And for either of these teams, and I think this is an interesting storyline to follow, they not only have to play this best of 3 on Saturday, but they have to go right back again with another best of 3 on Sunday for their quarterfinals. So a lot of League of Legends is going to be played by one of these teams.
Yep, and a lot of dreams on the line. Again, semifinals is really that level that you want to get to if you're aiming for that promotion tournament berth. Polestar, Ole Miss, 2 teams that do not want to go out this early. But Grapes, we are nearing the end of our show. Like we said, a lot of highlight reel plays to choose from this week, but now only 5 remain. As let's get started with our top 5 plays of the week.
Let's start things off here in BlackRock versus Team Fish Taco. Take a look at Kitso here once again. A beautiful insect. He had like 3 of these. I just had to pick the best one.
Yeah, you had to pick the best one. Maybe it's because he got a kill like for takeout on the way in. Assassinate Snow 2, both of the bot laners of Team Fish Taco just getting taken out. Kitsuo, a player that has not made our team of the week so far, but having a great tournament. And now in this one, we already talked about it earlier. Denethor on a sliver of HP somehow manages to clean up not 1, not 2, but 3 kills.
It's one of those situations where Elder Dragon is so important. You know, Denethor, if he didn't have Elder Dragon and Aporia did in that earlier exchange, would have been a very different story. But that's a triple kill as Winthrop went to win that 2-0 over Aporia. Number 3. Take a look at this once again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 vitals procced in what? 2 seconds? Something by Yusin?
Yeah, we got to slow it down, and this is still faster than I can proc a Fiora Grand Challenge if I play the champion. So Yeah, Houston. I mean, honestly, Grapes, we could have made a top 5 just from the Ole Miss Morningstar series, but of course, we decided to spread the love. And how about this cheeky little escape where, despite 3 members getting sent mid, Drew Dozer, not daunted.
Yeah, just cool, calm, and collected. Throws out the Shockwave and a nice follow-up by Nausicaa for our number 1 play. We couldn't choose, so we have 2 different Azir shuffles here. The first one from HTY against Morningstar with Ole Miss. A beautiful play by him there, getting all 4, and you see Shogo decided the game was over as soon as that happened, and we go over here to BlackRock and Robbie Bob for our other play.
Yeah, I mean, there was some Azir moments this week. Robbie Bob, again. Hey, Grapes, I said it in Past the Salt. Nobody has been on Robbie Bob's level so far this tournament. He has been, bar none, the best mid laner here so far in Tier 3, and we are seeing it. Grapes, so many plays to choose from. We cut it down to 5, but what an incredible week it has been. And it's a Challengers League Super Week. It's a super duper week as we've got series starting tomorrow on LCS_Challengers going through the entire weekend. They're starting at 12 Pacific as well. We're getting it going early with no LCS. Lit versus Wildcard to get us started first, Grapes.
Yeah, super excited for that, and make sure to keep your eyes peeled for any qualifiers information, and if you don't, you can come right back here on Thursday and watch some more Tier 3 tonight. We'll keep you up to date, and we'll get you set up for our top 4 semifinals and finals coming up after that.
Oh, yeah, there's still so much great League of Legends left to play. And, of course, after this tournament, we've got a whole nother one to break down for you all. Make sure you check out the VODs on the Rally Cry website, as well as the Lowly Sports Event VODs YouTube channel. But from all of us here at Tier 3 tonight, I want to shout out our producer, CamCom, for making us look so good, as well as our graphic designer and associate producer, Cyanidins. They help us out every single week. Shout out to Rally Cry and Riot for putting us on this platform and keeping Tier 3 so great. From all of us here, I've been Hawk. That's been Grapes. Hope you stay safe and have a great night.